All right, so it's another Wednesday, and you're tuning into LuvBay Radio. This is the Voices of the Millennials with your regular host, Annamaria Amissah. Many thanks for joining me tonight. Tonight's show is going to be another interesting episode. As you know, we bring you all that matters in the world of millennials, and we bring you what motivates you and helps you to stay focused on your goal. I'm so excited that you are all tuned in as usual on the Voices of the Millennials right here on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Tonight, my guest is another lady who got a scholarship at the ended Voices of the Millennials Summit. I would allow her to introduce herself and we'll get to know her and what's going on with her as an individual, as a very productive individual, I must say. So stay tuned. And Jutiana, I'll give you the chance to introduce yourself. Welcome to the Voices of the Millennial Show.
Hi. I'm JUTIANNA. You guys can call me Tiana. That's what I've been called ever since I was younger, if you want, or honestly, whatever's easier for you guys. I'm excited to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm a current student. I'm currently enrolled in Redeemer University in Ancaster, Ontario. I'm going to be double majoring and I have a minor. And I'm just super excited to see what the future holds. And I'll be entering my second year of school. So I'm just excited to see how it goes.
Okay. So you were one of the participants of the, or you were one of the winners of the scholarships at the Voices of the Millennial Summit. Tell us
Yes.
what you think was intriguing about your essay.
I'm not sure. I know I outlined like a lot of like activities that I'm like involved in and things I'm involved in, and just how it would be like a huge help financially and just like a blessing on my family because it is a little hard sometimes financially. So I feel like I put in lots of hard work and I feel like I just showed that a lot through my essay. So I feel like that could have catched people's eye. And I just really feel like it's a huge blessing, honestly. It was all God.
Mm. In your essay, you stated that you have passion for teaching.
Yes, yeah, that is true.
How is that? How did that passion get nurtured in you?
So I grew up, I have three younger sisters. So I'd say kind of like I've been around children a lot, like their friends always come and hang out. And ever since I was younger, I used to like love the idea of going down in the basement and playing like teachers. We would have like a whole setup. I had like a whiteboard and I had scrap paper and I would just make random bits of homework and like math and like science and English, and I would just give it to them and like I would love grading it and like putting stickers on it and like just doing the check marks. I don't know, I just really loved like teaching them and then like learning. I don't know, I just felt that was really interesting. So yeah, I have three younger sisters. The youngest is 5, and then she just turned 9, and then a 14-year-old. So I kind of always grew up around younger children.
Younger children. Mm.
Yeah.
And so that's what has nurtured your passion in teaching?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've definitely played a huge role. I feel like
Mm.
I wouldn't really like realize that I like children as much as I do if I didn't have them.
Mm. You also mentioned about volunteer work because it was one of the criteria in getting the
Yes.
scholarship. Tell us about your volunteer work.
I feel like a huge part of it was my role in like web club, which is basically like it was a group at school that would basically help new students coming into the school and it would just really help them to feel welcomed. We would do activities with them. We'd kind of be like their automatic friend. So if they needed a buddy or someone to talk to at school, we'd be there. We would like we would like line up on the first day and we'd like all clap and they'd all walk in. We just tried to make them feel very special and like they were like they belonged, like they're supposed to be there. So I feel like especially because that happened to me. Like I was welcomed in by like a web leader and that made a huge impact on me, and that had a huge impact. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. I would want to be a web leader. So the next year I was web leader, and I definitely feel like it helped people. So I spent a lot of my time doing that and just being very involved with the other students, like the newcomers, like one-on-one. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it helped people a lot.
That's all about the volunteer work.
Pardon?
That's all about the volunteer work that you've done.
No, no, no. I've also volunteered specifically like with Redeemer. I'm
Mhm.
very involved with like Black Student Union that we have. I help run the social media, and I'm also a part of a similar group. In September, I'm going to be a part of Launch Crew, which is similar to what I used to do before, what like being a web leader. We'll basically be doing activities with all the students, and we basically for the first couple of days before they all move in, like all the new first years, we'd be doing activities and having fun with them and talking to them, doing games, answering any questions. So that in that way, it's similar to being a web leader. But yeah, so specifically with like the Black Student Union that I'm currently involved with, we plan events, and that's specifically supposed to help like just Black students at my school, because there it is Black students aren't the majority at the school, so helping them and kind of giving them like a group to be a part of, I feel like that's definitely helped a lot. So I've used a lot of my free time and a lot of free hours helping that and setting things up and planning events. And I was also involved during COVID, like just with like helping some students with like homework and stuff, and then just like specifically because for volunteer hours during COVID, it wasn't like we needed our traditional hours. It was where we could help like students in the neighborhood and like people with their pets. So that's also what I did. I helped like for example, I helped my grandma with her cats, and that could count as like our volunteer hours just because of COVID and everything. So I helped her a lot. And I started to really enjoy pets too. So I definitely feel like in the future I'd want to put more of my time and hours into like pets, maybe like volunteer at like a shelter or something. I love animals so much. I've
That's
really come to
amazing.
realize that.
That's amazing. So what do you do in school? What are you studying in school?
So I'm double majoring. So my first year I was just doing a double major in psychology and business. And then second semester of first year, I added on an English minor. So I'm currently doing the double major and minor. I mostly added on the English minor so I could like it would give me the option to teach older than grade 6 if I wanted to. Because if you want to teach above grade 6, like grade 7, 8, 9, 10, and etc., you would need like a teachable subject, so like math, English, history, and I feel like English would be like a subject I'd be like it would be fun to teach. So I just wanted to like keep the option open if ever throughout my 4 years I'm like, oh, I kind of want to teach older than kindergarten to grade 6.
Mm. How was the experience in school been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun. Um, so I go to Redeemer and it's a Christian university. So I just feel like specifically because it's Christian, I feel like I don't know, I'm just so happy I chose a Christian university and being around Christian people and being in a Christian environment. I feel like being taught by like my professors that have like that viewpoint of like a Christian viewpoint and just like a good strong base in their faith. I feel like that's been really amazing. Just being surrounded by other Christian students too. And just I feel like the environment's so like family oriented and like just loving and kind. Everyone's so friendly. It's just I feel like it's a really nice school. So I really
So,
enjoyed my first year.
so how do you think that getting the scholarship from the VOM, the Voices of the Millennial Summit, is going to impact your school in general, your journey as a student at the Redeemer University?
I feel like I feel like especially because it's like a private university, I feel like it's even more expensive than like the average school. So I just feel like it just helps a lot financially. It definitely relieves some stress because it's very expensive. And like even if I'm working, which I currently am, like I'm currently working full time, it's like nowhere close to like the whole tuition. So it just every single bit helps. It all adds up. So I'm just very grateful for it.
Mm. Now, being, a young adult that is aspiring to do so much and hoping to achieve the goals, how do you think that being a millennial, has influenced your outlook in life?
Like just being like a young like person as myself.
Young person who is in the digital age, how the internet is evolving and has changed everything that we do as individuals. How do you think that, it has impacted the outlook in life?
I feel like especially like growing up, like in 2024 and like going through like what we went through like with COVID and like just the whole transition of like everything being online and stuff. I feel like a part of me is like it's kind of helped me and forced me to like rely on social media more and like not social media, but like electronics, like just being online more, like doing calls like this and stuff, like just being on Zoom during school.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just pushed me to use and kind of rely on technology a bit more than maybe what I would have. Especially, I feel like just everyone is so surrounded by technology nowadays. Like it's literally everywhere. You can use it for basically anything. You can find any information you need on it, basically. I just feel like it's pushed me like a lot to like rely on technology more.
Is relying on technology an advantage, more of a disadvantage? Do you think that it's impacting our life positively rather than negatively?
I feel like that's a big question. I feel like parts of it can be beneficial, like easy to access information and stuff, and like find resources that like people like years ago wouldn't have been able to have access to. But I feel like a part of it, like I feel like a huge chunk is also very negative, just because so much happens online. Like there's so much negativity. Like yes, I feel like there's pros and cons, but I feel like there may be a lot more cons because somehow years ago everyone was like people survived, like we were fine without it. I feel like now there's so much comparison and just negative thoughts, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of comparing online makes you like doubt yourself and like doubt certain parts of you and like things you can do, which I guess can also kind of push you to try to do better and be better. But I feel like there's just so much comparison and like I feel like it can
Mm-hmm.
lead to like negativity and stuff.
Mm. So, as a young individual, how do you think that you can ride on the positive aspects of technology to grow yourself career wise, as professionally, your professional growth as an individual? How do you think that you can ride on the positivity to do that?
I feel like just keeping yourself aware of like what technology can do and like how it can be beneficial, but also like how it can be like used or like seen as negative. I feel like just keeping yourself self-aware and just educating yourself on different things.
Mm. What's the name of the scholarship that you won?
This scholarship, it
Hmm.
was the Tony Profit Award.
Okay, Tony Profit Award.
Yeah.
That was an impactful one. So,
Yeah.
from where you sit, I mean, you've won or you've gotten a scholarship before, and there are a lot of individuals that would want to jump on such an opportunity. What would be your advice to young people that are trying to look for, funds to go to school, try to upgrade themselves? What would be your advice to them?
I mean, it's definitely hard. I know there's a lot of like scholarships out there and stuff that like is available to students, and I know like the majority, like a lot of it goes unclaimed. I feel like just you really got to like kind of reach out, and it can kind of be like a second job at some points where you're just like constantly looking and searching for more. But I would just say like praying. Like I feel like God will provide. Like if your heart's in the right place,
Mm,
just just pray. Yeah, that it all comes to you. That yeah, it'll all work out.
absolutely. What are some of the challenges that most young people face or are prone to facing in these times?
I feel like
Speaking from experience, what are the most common challenges that young people face?
I feel like I don't know, I feel like growing up in a world where like we have access to all this technology, and I guess like lots of people can like compare themselves to like because famous people and like influencers, they're always posting and like showing their life, and so many people can feel like, oh, I don't really measure up to that, or like they're doing all of this, they have all this like money or success or fame, and I don't know, I feel like lots of youth today, they struggle with like comparing themselves just because of like the age we live in, where it's all online and people like put up such a front online, and it's all posted and shown for the world. I feel like that is a huge thing that people go through nowadays.
So how would you suggest they navigate, such a challenge?
Maybe just keeping yourself aware that like not all of it's real online. Like it's all just most of it's just for like show. Like there's so many like people like edit and stuff. Like people will put their best face like on the internet type of thing. Like 100 pictures just to get like the perfect one type of thing. I feel like if you just keep reminding yourself that like no one's gonna really put like their negative self on the internet. It's all gonna try to be their most positive and happy self. That's not all real. Just like keeping yourself grounded and rooted, that like maybe like also limited, like limit technology and like your access to it and how much like you're intaking daily. Just being very cautious with how much you consume and how much you think about it.
Mm, mm. You're tuned into LuvBay Radio. This is the Voices of the Millennials, and we're speaking to JUTIANNA Downey. She is one of the recipients of the scholarships at the ended Voices of the Millennials Summit. She's a student at the Redeemers University, and she has proven herself to be quite a productive individual. We're just having a chit chat with her this evening to motivate someone listening on how to stay productive as an individual. Jutiana, so can we go into career and ambitions? Would you describe yourself as ambitious?
I would. I feel like yeah, I would, yeah.
So what are your career goals? How do you set your goals as a young adult growing up and trying to couch a route for your career?
I feel like just trying to stay very just like try to stay on top of things and just nothing's just gonna like come to you type of thing. Like you kind of have to like try to work for it and try to put the work in. So I feel like because like I want to be a teacher and that was like 4 years of your BA and then another 2 years of teachers college. I feel like just being committed to like doing all of that in itself is a huge thing, and just mentally knowing like, okay, it's gonna take another like 5 years now, and just pushing through and putting all the hard work in.
How would you think that, with everything, all the challenges that individual young adults face, and you are just as young as you are trying to build up your life, you need to stay professional, you need to continue doing self learning just to be able to keep the focus on where you want to go and where you want to get to, right? So I'm asking you, how do you plan to stay on the right path, productive, and in personal growth kind of route?
I feel like yeah, I feel like hard work, but also like with that, I feel like you can't burn yourself out. Like you have to go at a pace that's good for you and that you can manage. Like you don't want to just try so hard, 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 and then like just be burnt out and not be able to do anymore. So I feel like just asking God for strength and to just point you in the right direction and lead you and just keep you on the right path. I feel like if you just do that and you still try to stay consistent, like you don't just be like, okay, like no, I'm not going to do anymore. Like you just keep thinking of your future and your goals and like what you want, I feel like if you just keep doing that and you try to continue to like hit your goals where you're aiming for, I feel like it will work out.
What has been the greatest challenge that you have faced as a young adult growing up?
Um, I don't. I feel like there's like been a lot of like little challenges, like financial problems definitely like play a role. Just like struggling kind of to like afford tuition, afford school. I feel like that like has caused some doubts. Like, oh, will I be able to even achieve all this? Like, will I be able to like go to teachers college? Like, it's just so expensive. Like, I don't know. That's been a huge stress. Just coming up with
Mm,
all the money and just paying it. Like I'm like 19, I'm like turning 19 this summer. Like how do you expect me to have all this money type of thing? I don't know.
mm,
It's definitely it can be very stressful.
mm. So, with all the involvements that you've done in terms of volunteer work and everything, have you ever thought of being your own boss, doing something to sustain yourself? Has that thought ever crossed your mind?
It has. That's where the business of like because I'm doing the psychology and business, that's kind of where the business came in. That's kind of
Mm,
my like backup if like teaching doesn't work out. Because
mm-hmm,
it has crossed my mind. I have thought about, like, being my own boss type of thing. I feel like that would be very enjoyable too.
mm. So, have you thought of what field you'd want to delve in?
I don't know, like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to want to sell, like, custom things. So I feel like maybe, like, clothing or something. I feel like
Mm,
some sort of product. I feel like that's what I would do if there was anything.
mm. Wow. So this is all about you. If you were given, a stage, to say something about yourself, to define you as an individual, what would that statement be? Who is JUTIANNA Downey?
Man, um, I don't know. I know, I just there's been, like, people like, my father and stuff, he hasn't made, like, all the right decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and I have his last name, so I would probably just say, I just wanna be the person God wants me to be. I just wanna make a positive impact and just not follow down his steps. I know, so I wanna try to do better, especially since I'm, like, holding his name. I don't wanna, like, follow down his path at all.
Mm, mm. What would be your advice to young individuals that are trying to chase their goals, but you know, face challenges along the way and are trying to give up?
I would say honestly just go to God, like tell God your concerns and your worries and your struggles. And he does so many things every single day. Like provides so many miracles and blessings. Like honestly, if you just bring all your worries and stress to him, just keep him in your heart and pray and just dive in his word and just build a relationship with him. He doesn't want to see you suffer or see you like not do good in life. He wants you to be happy. I feel like just honestly just go to God, be with God.
Mm. You are God's girl, and that's very impressive, because as individuals, it's important that we have our source close to us to be able to guide us on the right path to take from time to time. Are there any cultural issues, that you are interested, social or cultural issues that you're interested in, especially at school? Is there anything that you are involved, any movement sort of that you are part of?
Not me personally, but like my mom, she's like
Um,
yeah, she wants to help women and she wants to help women and she just wants to be there for them. So I feel like me just supporting her and her wishes and like what she wants to do. She wants to like help people with human trafficking and just help victims. And I feel like that is such a big issue and such a big problem in our world. And I feel like a lot of it kind of goes unnoticed and unseen. So I feel like me just supporting her, I feel like that's a big thing that I like to do.
Mm. And do you think that schools, for example, your school, they are putting together enough youth-centered programs or activities that help shape, youth coming out into the corporate world, for example, to be able to find an easy feat in sailing through the corporate world?
I know there's lots of like clubs and groups and stuff, but I feel like maybe nothing like specifically like that. No, I think there
Mm.
could be more.
So what would you suggest if you had the opportunity?
Maybe someone like educated, like who has experience, maybe deciding to like start a club or something and just help students and educate them. Because you could teach in like classes and stuff, but like I feel like that's targeting like a wide range of students. I feel like if you start a club, then like you really can attract students that specifically want to like look for something like that. So I feel like maybe just having someone experienced and who's done that and knows that to like really just help students like
Mm.
one-on-one or something.
Is there any particular topic that you are passionate about as an individual?
I feel like I feel like a part of it stems from like what my mom like what my mom her passion is. It's just like her talking about it and like seeing her be so passionate about all that and just so committed and just her heart's really in it. I feel like that has played a big part in me and like has moved me. And because at first I never really thought about it much, but like just seeing how committed she is and how devoted and the way she talks about it with like such passion, I'm just like yeah, that's actually important stuff. Like we should be learning about that more and like that should be more
That's
drawn and educated to students.
about what's the women trafficking.
Yeah, like human trafficking and victims. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, human trafficking.
Yes.
Mm, mm. But what about you? That's your mom's passion. What about your passion? Or you don't have any that you have set your mind on right now?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't like my a couple of our pets this summer, they've passed
Mhm.
away and they've been like super, super close in my heart. Our
Pet.
dog actually. Yeah, like I don't know. So I'd say animals, like maybe helping animals and just like so many animals like go unloved and like they just I don't know, like our dog, he got hit by a car like 2 weeks ago. And
Oh,
yeah, like it's just it's a hard subject, but I'd say like just helping animals because so many of them they kind of go silence type of thing. But I
mm,
do ever since I was younger, I've really loved animals.
mm, mm. So now, as it stands now, our goal as LuvBay Radio is to help and motivate a lot of young people to stay on the right path, to choose the right things to do as individuals, to make sure that they stay productive and they are able to be in line with their goals and aspirations and dreams. And through that, you were blessed to get a scholarship that is going to help you go a long way, you know, to achieving your dreams as well. Is there anything that you'd like to tell Love Bay Radio?
Just that I'm extremely grateful to be here. I feel like it all came together so perfectly. It was just such a blessing. I'm just so happy.
We are happy to have put a smile on your face as well, because it was our dream to do that, and we have accomplished that. Now, Jutiana, for before I wrap up with you, I just wanted to know from you, is there a biggest accomplishment or achievement in your life that you would want to you want to speak about?
Man, I would say, I don't know, just trying to be a good role model for my sisters because I'm like a first generational student. They have like they really don't have any other role model that's like I don't know, like they have other role models, but I feel like just trying to continue to always be a good role model and just show them like hard work does pay off in the end. I feel like just being a good sister, being a big good sister.
Who is your role model?
I would say my mom. My
Mm.
mom. Yeah.
What's the reason?
She's just she's stayed strong through so much over the years and like after everything, she's come out stronger and just seeing her and her walk with God and having faith through everything that like she's been through and that we've been through. It's just amazing. She just loves us so much and she's just always pushing us to try to do better than how she was when she was younger. And she's just so bold and courageous. She goes against the grain for sure. It's amazing.
What would be your criteria in advising young individuals in getting mentors?
Like, what would I like tell
What
them?
would be your advice, yes, in choosing a mentor?
I would say someone that someone just that cares enough to like push you towards God and wants to see you do better, maybe like be better and just they want to see you do good in life type of thing. They love you and they just care for you and they want to see you succeed and succeed with God.
There's a school of thought that has said that mentors, if you have a mentor as an individual, especially as a young person, your mentor can influence you positively, but you do not have to be like your mentor. What's your take on that?
I agree. I definitely like I don't think I'm like my mom. Like I think she's always just pushed me to like not be like her type of thing when she was younger. Like she's always just pushed me. I agree. I feel like she's definitely like my mentor and I feel like she's pushed me to not be like her in so many ways and to just try to be better. So I do agree.
Mm,
I don't think every mentor is like be like me type of thing because not no one's perfect.
yeah. So there are people that are, going to want to aspire to apply for a scholarship possibly next year so that, they can also benefit. And since you were able to, get through, do you want to share some tips on how they can have a successful application?
Yeah,
I mean,
just
you wrote a wonderful piece, a wonderful essay, and you would want to share, what they can do to be able to achieve such a great piece to get in.
I would say take your time, like just don't rush anything. Like yes, there's a deadline, but really try to make sure you're putting and highlighting important things. It's not like a whole summary of your whole life and all of the great things you've done, but just things that like mean a lot to you and things that you think are important in your life. And when you're done, I'd say just pray over it and see if there's anything else that you should add. But just be honest and be transparent. Just really try to show them a little piece of who you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, listeners, if you are getting ready to, put in your application for next year's scholarship, absolutely be yourself, be clear with what you are writing, and make sure that you stay true to yourself to be able to get in to get a scholarship so that you can also have an impactful, journey in your education. We are definitely looking to give more and more scholarships. Allison Townsend Trudeau from on Facebook is saying, "You're so beautiful inside out. I'm so proud of everything you are accomplishing." That is
Thank you.
you. Yeah. And also, just before we wrap up, I just want to know, what are your plans after completing school?
Um, after I get my BA, I'm gonna do the 2 years of teacher college, and then yeah, hopefully teach, be
So
a
it's
teacher.
teach all the way.
Well, I definitely want like a family and stuff too, and like get married and do all that as well. So that will hopefully fit in somewhere.
So you've considered the fact that at a point in time in your life you would have to pause to start a family,
Yes, yes, yes.
and that's
Completely okay with
important.
that.
That's important for you.
Yeah. That is also part of the reason why I chose teaching, just because I wanna be very involved with my family and with my children, just like how my mom is. And teachers, they get, like, summers off, and I feel like that's amazing, like, that's the time your children are home from school, and you can just spend lots of time with your family, you get, holidays off and vacations. I feel like I feel like it's a good job to have a family in. But
Mm.
yes, that's definitely priority over the job and stuff.
So you've put thoughts into the fact that you will need to balance work with life,
Yeah, for sure.
and are you looking to do you have you thought through any tips that will make you successful in that, because a lot of people fail at balancing their work with life, family life especially.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work. I'd say just keeping your priorities in order. I don't know, I want a pretty big family. So I feel like just keeping God, like keeping God in the center, I feel like he'd help you keep it all balanced. And I feel like it shouldn't be like a 50-50 thing. I feel like your family should be priority for sure. Like I feel like you shouldn't put your job type of thing in front of your family.
Mm. So thank you very much, Jutiana, for joining us on Love Bay Radio. It's been amazing having you, and we are looking forward to hear from all those that benefited from the scholarship on the Voices of the Millennials Summit that was just ended on the 13th of July. It was such an exciting summit that put a lot of smiles on people's faces. We look forward to interviewing others who, got their scholarships and how it has impacted them, how they plan to move on forward. Thank you, Jutiana, once again for joining us on Love Bay Radio. Tonight was quite a short show. We promised to bring you, lengthier ones as we unravel. But this we are kind of like doing a series just to rope everybody that benefited from the scholarships in, so that we know how to best serve you on our next summit. So absolutely keep tuning in to Love Bay Radio on the Voices of the Millennials. And we have remodeled the show. We are bringing you something beautiful and more exciting in our subsequent episodes, putting in exciting segments that will keep you informed and stay glued to the millennials world, which we are in now. So you should watch this space and watch out for the voices of the millennials that will be coming your way more. There's Caitlin that is also giving you some shout outs. So proud of you, Tiana. Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
blessings. You deserve it. Tess Scott is saying so good. That's amazing. You have a lot of love out there, and we are all
Mhm.
proud of you and what you're doing. And we hope that you will keep, making your mama proud. and all your friends and your families around you. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to be signing out. It's Annamaria Amissah, your regular host. Uh, keep tuning in, especially Voices of the Millennials, because we have a lot in store for you on our subsequent episodes. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.
Thank you for having me.